Chubstep.
Creating the oil of Dolce.
Steed.
Chubstep.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle.
But I don't think you should be butting in when I'm talking to my team. You're my assistant, okay? You're supposed to back me up and go get me juice boxes when I tell you.
Well, I can't say that they know, my brother. What a tie.
Now here's the twist, and there is a twist. We show it. We show all of it.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the show has started.
Welcome back, boys and girls. Tell your parents this show isn't for them. It's time. It's time, guys. I teased this, I think, 2 weeks ago. It's time for the new sunglasses reveal.
Oh, here we go. Check us out on YouTube.
So,
Chubstep podcast on YouTube.
If you're watching on YouTube, you will see the circa 2011 Dolce and Gabbana sunglasses on my face for the first time.
Let's check them out.
Here we go.
Whoa.
I am. Did Pitbull just walk in?
Miss Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide. So I'll bring him in a little bit closer so you can see. These are Italian colors. Green, white, and red.
Yes.
Those
and
are three
very
colors.
Kind of purpley lens almost.
Yeah, so the lens actually, the top half is darker than the bottom half.
Yeah.
So, the sun is usually up high, so it blocks it. And then I'm assuming that if I'm outside in the sun, it will be even. But right now, if I put my head down, the computer's really dark. So you might see me you might see me looking up like this.
Yeah.
At times. And
it's kind of like the tough guy thing where they lift up their chin, like, what's up? What's up?
Yeah, what's up? And it also has an Italian Mamma Mia symbol right in the middle of it.
Flag.
Right in between the eyes. Italian flag. Yeah. So Dolce and Gabbana, probably about $450 retail. And I'm big balling.
Can you remind people how you got those glasses?
Can
you move your mic thing a little bit further away? It peaks a little bit.
Every time. I
know.
How did I get these? Yeah, I was in Iowa and a girl let me borrow them and then I took them.
Yeah. And she has not asked for them back, right?
Yeah, well, who would? Well, I think she worked at Sunglasses Hut or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So she gets some sort of discount.
Yeah, she got a big deal. So, I got them. I might wear them to a Jetty Boy Day or something, but
that sounds risky.
They're so douchey. What? Yeah, because I care about these things.
Well, you just got to have the problem is you need the rest of the outfit to make this work. So you need the leather jacket. I feel like leather pants would be even better. I think. I'm picturing
real tight leather.
Just a lot of leather, and then really tight. Whatever you wear has got to be really tight.
I will tighten it up. I'll loosen it up. And I'm gonna keep it short. Keep it real short.
Okay.
Whatever shorts I'm wearing, I'm normally, I like to wear it tight because I like the bulge to pop.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring that in even more.
Perfect.
Yeah. So now, Jay, what was that?
I was gonna say I know you got a big topic you wanted to bring up.
Yes. Well, I was gonna ask you how your weekend was while I look up the actual cost of this sunglasses.
Oh, okay. Yes,
it
was good. I was up in northern Minnesota with my Chubstep Amy's with my families now. I guess my family if I'm married, right?
Yeah. But you can leave. You can always leave. Not that you want to. Not that I'm saying
I
want
it. I want it.
You can threaten them with it.
You're right.
If they get out of hand, you can.
Up in northern Minnesota, up at some lake houses up there. The weather was still pretty hot, especially for September in Minnesota. So that was nice to be out on the lake and stuff. One fun discovery was that her uncle had one of those guns that shoot salt at flies.
Oh, I love those.
I never tried one of those. It is definitely a way more entertaining way to kill flies than like a fly swatter.
Yeah, it's more sporting.
It's more sporting.
Sure.
Exactly. I feel like I'm giving the flies a chance because if I'm a bad shot, they can get away. And then all you do is you shoot salt, which it's kind of, you literally just pour like table salt in there.
Yeah, and you can lick that up if you miss.
And you can lick it up. And I was thinking, like, I want to try some different spices. I was thinking about, could I do like a ground cardamom? Or could I do like nutmeg or something? Like, what would be the best spice to kill insects with? And I know I was thinking kind of cinnamon, right? I heard a lot of bugs don't like cinnamon.
But it's soft. They grind it up too much where it's like
what
powder.
What if I ground it up myself? I could grind it up myself because I have the sticks and I have a spice grinder.
Yeah, so then you could stop early.
At the right amount of coarseness. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not gonna you're not gonna grind it up to where you put it on some eggs.
Exactly. I wouldn't put cinnamon on eggs to begin with, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you find out about the glasses?
They're
probably like $1,000, right?
I'm seeing like the standard Dolce sunshades. At least, I mean, these ones suck. These ones are 150. These ones are 280.
I mean, the thing is that they're probably 10 years old, right?
Yeah, these are baller though.
No, I'm just saying. So you're probably it's not going to be readily available online. It's not like they're not still making those probably.
Well, yeah. What I'm also finding is this style went out of style.
Wow, disagreed. Hard disagree.
I'm not even finding like anything similar. I found one thing similar, but it's just a picture of it. I don't know how to shop. We're moving on. If anybody knows how much these cost, they're $1,000. If anybody wants these, write us an email with your address and send postage. I'll get them to you.
And you have to get 10 people to write reviews about the podcast.
That is also true. But if they're negative,
they'd be positive.
These sunshades might arrive broken.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, I got to take these off for this.
Yeah, you can't say anything.
Yeah, I cannot breathe.
You said you had a big Tanzanian news you want to get to.
The infection causes immediate respiratory failure, and scientists claim that mutations are now transmitted.
You know what Fugazi is?
Fugazi, it's a fake.
Yeah, Fugazi, Fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust.
What are you, from Tanzania?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so we got a big Tanzania news. We got big accusations about CIA involvement in Africa during and after the Cold War.
Okay. So you don't typically think of Africa in the Cold War.
No. You think, like kind of in Asia with, the whole Vietnam thing going on.
Yep.
South America gets a lot of attention.
Yep. But Russia and America. Yeah.
Exactly. The Middle East.
Yep.
Yeah. But, you don't get a lot of info on Africa. But apparently the Soviets were trying to move into Africa. And so the CIA was like, all right, well, we got to do it. And I'm going to preface this. I did not. This is from the Tanzanian news website. I had to make a fake account. They didn't make me verify my email.
Yeah, and what we know about Tanzania news is that they do alter it and they censor it.
It's censored. It's this article not well written. It doesn't flow well.
Yeah, they also don't proofread very well.
There seems to be no plot. There's no sources. Actually, there's like one source.
Okay.
In the middle of the article.
It's the president problem.
And it is just a very weird article. But this guy, he just basically starts it off. He's like, with the Soviet, let me tell you, some Cold War stories I recently glanced at from some CIA archives.
Okay.
Like, that's a start.
So this guy was just scouring the CIA archives.
Yeah, this news reporter. Okay. So he writes about basically how the CIA got, this is how, he says the CIA got involved in Africa because Russia was doing it. So the CIA's plan to counter the Russians was to gain intelligence on the Russian heads of state.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you do this?
Spies.
Really close.
Okay.
Prostitutes.
Well, can't they also be spies and be prostitutes at the same time?
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
So he says some guy with a striking physical presence. He's really into this guy's bod.
Okay.
He says tall, steady, broad-shouldered man with a striking physical presence.
Sounds like me.
Exactly. So, and this guy apparently had just graduated from college and was working at a car dealership when the CIA sent him a letter asking him if they could do a background check about hiring him. And then in the article, it just says, to cut the story short, he was hired.
Okay. So was the only qualifications this guy had was that he was good looking?
Well, he went to college.
Oh, he went to college. Okay, you're right. He went to college. He was working at a dealership. All right, continue. You're right.
And then the CIA asked him if they could do a background check.
Can we do a background check?
They weren't just like, we're going to do a background check.
Do they need permission? Does the CIA need permission to do anything? I don't think so.
And then they mail him a letter.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to hire you. So this guy's job was to get the prostitutes.
Okay. He was a pimp. That's called a pimp.
He was essentially a pimp.
CIA pimp.
Yeah. So he would like go to New York and Florida.
Okay.
And he would recruit prostitutes, and then he would send them to Africa, who would recruit, sleep with Russian, Chinese, and North Korean ambassadors, or like their spies and stuff.
Okay.
And then they would report back to the CIA.
Okay.
And he says it was a completely pointless operation.
It doesn't shock me, only because I'm like, what? We'll get to the end of this, obviously, but I'm just thinking, like, what do they want to be talking about? Like, these guys are obviously, they're not there for the conversations. They're there for the paid sexual encounter.
Yes.
So they probably don't want to just share, like...
Oh, man. Yeah.
Information.
It's a crazy plan. If they did this, I mean, they might have. It's not like if technically it would be better if you had like an actual spy doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, not somebody who's trained as a prostitute. Yeah.
Yeah, because then they're just, I mean, yeah, you could coach him and be like, all right, maybe ask him what he does for work. And then hopefully he gives you some secrets.
Yeah.
But you'd have to like hook him in. You got to honeypot him, do all this stuff. It's much higher spy level shit than just going to New York from a car dealership guy and getting some random prostitutes.
Well, I guess my question is, what do you think is, I think we both know the answer to this, but what is harder? Is it harder to sleep with somebody, or is it harder to get information from somebody? And if the answer is it's harder to get information from somebody, then you hire somebody who has that skill, and then you teach them for the sexual encounter. Yeah,
you're like, hey, man, it's pretty messed up, but you're going to have sex with this.
Yeah, now that's kind of an HR disaster. Maybe the HR liability waiting to happen.
You got to sign some waivers. You're getting sued after that, no matter what.
But at least it was the 80s. They got away with a little more.
Yeah.
70s and 80s, right? So.
Yeah. They did get some info. Randomly before they get, this is, again, how this article is structured. Before they get to the actual info, it just randomly says that the guy also had sex with one of the call girls.
Because of the implication.
Okay. The guy hired, the dealership guy.
Yeah, the dealership guy who's getting all these prostitutes. He got a name from the White House office of the Secret Service, and then I guess he just banged her. But it did say she loved what she was doing for national security.
Okay. I'm glad. It's good that it was like consensual thing.
Yeah. So this girl said she got some info, and then he kind of reported on the info she got. She found out that he was an alcoholic, which they already knew because they had talked to him at cocktail parties.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say you can like ask any bartender who's probably served him, and that guy could have told you that.
Yeah. They found out he had halitosis, which is constantly bad breath. And they also knew that because, you know, they had talked to him at cocktail parties.
Yeah.
You know what they also found out? This is fun. They found out he was impotent. Which they also knew already.
How did they know that?
Well, they hit a camera in a whorehouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like they were already spying on this guy.
Gotcha. They just wanted even closer source, like somebody that they knew. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that all she got?
That was all the info she got.
Oh God.
And you want to know how much it cost the American taxpayers?
For the whole operation, or for this one time?
Just this guy.
$100,000.
$28,000.
Okay.
Reasonable.
Inflation.
Pretty
reasonable. You got to factor in inflation.
That's true. So yeah, about $100,000. I think that is, you know, pretty good bang for your buck.
20. Yeah. Well, I mean, but no, I would say not so good because it literally got information that everybody already knew.
Well, true, but like they could have maybe he would have slipped out like, damn, Putin's been up my ass about all our nukes being broken.
Yeah.
Like if that slipped out.
Yeah, okay, I get it. As far as government spending goes, you're right. It doesn't seem like the largest amount I've heard.
Yeah. So then just to wrap up this guy's tale, there is a second part.
Okay.
His wife did hear about the prostitute activity. Yeah. And she divorced him.
No, she divorced the politician they were spying on, or the dealer guy?
No. Dealer guy. He was married.
Yes.
And it says there's a good deal of gossip in the CIA world, you know, between like CIA wives and stuff.
Gotcha.
And yeah, she found out he was just a CIA prostitute wrangler guy, and she divorced him.
She didn't like that part. Yeah. You know, in his defense, he always has the plausible deniability of just being like, hey, like, I'm literally not allowed to tell you.
It's my job.
Legally, I'm not allowed to tell you. I'm just this is my job. I would say what she probably had the bigger problem with is also him sleeping with the girl.
Yes. And if he admits to one, you know, there's probably a couple more on the table.
A few more. I would agree.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the other fun. This one's a lot more fun. This is the other thing the CIA is doing in Africa. They're trying to get poison.
Okay.
They're trying to get poison from a crocodile's gallbladder.
That's the best spot.
That is apparently the best spot. And that is based on just, let's see here. Oh, yes, witch doctors.
Oh, good. The witch doctors said gallbladder is the best poison from alligators. Okay, yeah.
Yes, so it's like a thing that witch doctors in Africa have been making, you know, secret recipes of the bile in crocodiles, Tanganyika's crocodiles, which is, I think, a region in Tanzania. That specific crocodile, they, I guess, cook the gallbladder into the poison. And this apparently is documented in CIA archives. This is the one source that was in this. And it mentions the Freedom of Information Act. So I'm assuming that I didn't look into it, so I won't say that it's maybe true. But so their plan was, they had two plans. One plan was they wanted to get a crocodile. They wanted to have a full crocodile shipped, and then they could, you know, do some studies.
Yeah.
That proved pretty difficult, I guess, because they couldn't find like a licensed crocodile guy.
They needed, Steve Irwin back in the day.
Yeah, and then their second plan was just have some guys kill it and ship us the gallbladder, and then we're gonna do some stuff. You know, they warned about the shipping. This is apparently in the memo. The shipping live crocodile could be dangerous, so they ruled it out.
Okay, Jurassic Park. We've all seen that.
Yeah, Jurassic Park. So the interesting thing about this crocodile bladder, this came up in 2015 in the neighboring Mozambique. I don't know if they're actually neighbors. I don't know. it came up in Mozambique. 69 people died and 169 were hospitalized after drinking a patch of homebrewed beer at a funeral.
And
this is in 2015, and it is blamed on that same exact crocodile bile poison.
Oh my God.
They think that the woman who brewed the beer was a witch.
Yep.
Who also died from drinking the beer.
Well, you can't get too mad at her then. She like at least she tried it, you know?
Yeah, so they did blame her. So Africa thinks it's poison. Funny thing is, Chinese people use it to like treat asthma.
So it's, I wonder if it's like how much you give somebody, right? Like in large quantities, it's poisonous. You know, it always is poisonous, but large quantities is dangerous. In small quantities, it can.
Yeah, so it's only poisonous if it is extremely concentrated to a point where like you would not be able to brew it into beer for people. So it has to be like a huge amount where it's actually like poisonous. Is what the doctor said. And Chinese people, we've went over some Chinese herbal remedies before, and they're pretty weird. But this one is, they use it for asthma. So if you have asthma, get yourself a crocodile.
But not too much because you'll die.
In 2011 and 2012, 47 people were killed by crocodiles in Mozambique in 1 year.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, they are. I wonder if it's from like, I think do crocodiles, I don't know, like going too close to water, like I don't know what you're dying from.
Well, they probably don't have like as many well systems, so they probably use the river for
for a lot of
more
stuff.
Like that. So they got to go down there.
Hide. I mean, those alligators, crocodiles, they just hide. Like you can't see them sometimes.
No, especially if the water is murky.
Really well. Yes, the water's murky. They blend in really well. I could totally see just like, step on it accidentally. I talked about this before, but like in Hilton Head, like you go to the southeast, there's a lot of gators and stuff. There was a time where we were fishing, and every time you threw in just in little ponds throughout this neighborhood we were staying in, every time you threw the fishing line out, the gators just started going towards your bobber.
Oh my God.
Which was scary. So you would have like 10 minutes of fishing at one spot before the gators were close enough. You're like, I got to get out of here. And you'd like move like so far away. You could move like the other side of this huge pond or like, small lake, whatever you want to call it. You throw it in, they hear the little, I don't know, they feel the vibrations, whatever it is, they come over. And like, it was, you could see how you're not paying attention. They're just like hanging out right on the edge. Like if you were kind of being stupid, talking, on your phone, texting somebody, you could walk into one. It's pretty wild.
They are crazy. And poisonous.
Yeah.
Okay. So to wrap up the whole CIA Africa story, it kind of toned down in the CIA's influence in Africa because a young girl, 20-something young girl, I think it was one of these prostitutes that they sent out, fell in love with a communist.
Okay.
Marries him.
Yeah.
Knew way too much about the CIA in in Africa. They knew like their stations, the agents,
all this stuff.
Who they like reported to, the case officers, how much they were paid, everything. And they were just like, oh my God, all of that info is in the communist hands.
We got to get out of here. Yeah.
No, they kind of had to like, I guess, leave Tanzania.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Yeah. Fun little Tanzania news. Weird story. How much is true? I don't know. It sounds pretty crazy.
TBD, but either way, kind of wild, and just a great example of Cold War.
Just crazy stuff.
Just how crazy stuff in the Cold War. So I'm going to do a quick thing because I got to head out here in a second, Paul. But I didn't talk about this on the show, but I went to a Russian bathhouse about like a month ago or so.
Yeah. You told me about this.
I told you about it. I don't think I talked about it on the show. So
I don't think so.
I went with V-Dog, who's been on the show before, and some of his friends. He's actually been since. He's gone all the time. But basically, there's a spot in Chicago where it is like super authentic Russian bathhouse. So much so that like you walk in and the ladies behind the counter clearly like, first immigration, Russians, and like I could I couldn't understand a word like she was saying. I was trying to just ask about my locker, and like we were nobody was understanding each other. And you go in there, and it's kind of split up between guys and girls. There's one co-ed thing, but it's kind of a shitty sauna. Oh. And so you see the guy, you walk in and you get a big robe.
Nice.
And I was wearing just like compression shorts. There's a few people wearing like swim trunks, a lot of naked people. I didn't feel
you can go naked.
I would say half the people at least were fully naked.
I'm thinking about going now.
I didn't feel the need to go fully naked. But what my brother does is he does these sessions, some of his friends do these sessions where they go from like the sauna or the steam room to the cold tub. I don't know. I'm not getting at this order wrong, but like basically there's a cold tub. There's a cold shower that looks like one of those things in science class. You'd pull this lever down and be cold water on top of you. And you go from basically like steam room to a cold thing, to the sauna, to a cold thing, to a hot tub, to a cold thing, to a, whatever. There's
you go like
45 minutes. You go in these cycles. And some of these guys in there are just like, you do not feel like you're even in America. Like these guys in here are so Russian. It is like, you feel like so out of place in this spot. And just the conversations you overhear, just at the one time I've been there so far, just ridiculous conversations. Like, it sounds like these guys, there was talk about like, this guy, went there, he went to Brazil, and then there was all these prostitutes around, and he like, but he was just trying to get some drugs, so he had to go into the bad part of town. And like, I'm just hearing this one conversation. There's like, 20 people in this big sauna. Just to hear these conversations are just wild. So I don't even know what he's saying when he's not in a public setting.
Oh God,
that's the stuff he's okay saying publicly. But it's just a wild. And then you go upstairs and you could get like very Russian beer, and then just like the menu is just like all borscht and
I don't even know what borscht is, and I've never had Russian beer.
Yeah. So borscht is like a beet soup, but they have like all these different Russian things that are in Russian, so you don't even really know what you're ordering. And it was just a very authentic, unique experience. Well, I think authentic. I've never been to Russia, but very unique experience. And my brother and his friends got these really thick wool hats that have the Russian star on the front. That's supposed to help with your hair. Because the heat's not really good for your hair. You look even more ridiculous walking around with it. But it is a lot of fun to just like spend a couple hours there, and then you feel like just jello when you walk out because you've been sitting in like constant sauna steam room for a couple hours. So
that sounds awesome.
Yeah. So I'm able to go back and look a little more Russian before. I don't have any Russian heritage, but I'll maybe try to fit in a little better.
I'm going to go and just display my penis proudly.
Yeah. You want to be the first person.
Well, I just want to get like a lot of input.
Oh,
because I assume everybody, I assume everybody comments on each penis that they see when they walk by, like it's custom.
Yeah, I didn't witness that, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Or maybe it was in Russian and I didn't understand it.
Yeah, well, I'd like a compliment, like, hey, like not just a typical like, man, look at that thing.
Yes,
that thing's big. I want like, wow, the circumference really even, or like, dang, that's a nice shade.
I think what you're looking for is probably not what they offer at the Russian bathhouse. So we'll maybe like get a separate place for you. There's other bathhouses I think that might fit your needs better, Steed.
Okay, so I'll try them out.
Yeah, so we'll keep with that. So we'll wrap it up there. Chubstep.podcast@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. Rate the show on Spotify if you haven't done that yet. Please rate us on whatever you listen to, especially Spotify, things like that. Help us a lot. The show has ended. Be gone.
Now you know you got to go.
Peace. This is Yasin.